Now we're going to talk about timeline editing. This is stage 2. This is what we're going to focus on today. This is going to be more in depth than what I talked about with Prelude, because I didn't say much about Prelude. I know. Get ready. Get ready. All right. So we're going to talk about good editing practices, which is really important in timeline editing. Keeping your project organized is like super important. Having like a hierarchy. Like I have a folder system here. I don't know how you guys can see this. I'm assuming you can see it. I have a bunch of folders. That's all you need to know. I have like a crap ton of folders here. I have one for, this is the second time project folder. And I have like every episode has its own folder, and within that every scene has a folder, and like I have random things like I have ADR has its own folder here with all that stuff. You know, I have an episode cuts, da da da. So it's easy to find things. It's easy to, you know, drill down in here and figure out exactly what you need to find. Naming conventions are super important here too, and the main reason these things are important are, well, A, in a big project like Second Time, you get totally lost if you don't name things and put them in folders. Like you just, I mean, there are thousands of clips in this, and you know, forget, yes, question.
What are the default names of clips?
So the default names of clips depend on the camera. On the Blackmagic, it's like your name, so mine are all like John Barton 1 and then like the date they were taken. On the T3i and T2i, we're recording with the T3i for this, it's like MVI and then some number that's incremented every time. So like MVI 2370, MVI, you know, 2371. So those are not helpful as editors. So what I normally name things as when I'm importing them, for like Second Time, I'll put like the scene name and then like what camera it was shot on if we're using multiple cameras, you know, or like what lens it was shot through, you know, like video 1, L lens, you know, and then like an increment. Because in Prelude, when you import, you can add increments too, which is super nice. So you keep track of what everything is. What was it? Oh yeah, so you want to keep track of all your thousands of clips and stuff. And then if someone else needs to look into your project, it's super easy if you have it like this so that someone else can just go in and be like, oh, okay, here's where everything is. You know, it should make logical sense. Normally what we do is this kind of a hierarchy for general narrative stuff, which we normally do. We have like scene in a folder, and within that folder we have audio and video. Then that we have, you know, audio clips, and then cameras, you can have multiple camera clips sometimes. What's next for me? Oh, so workspaces are very different for every person. And in programs like Premiere, you can really customize your workspace like however you want it. Like for me right now, this is a part of my Second Time workflow, or workspace. And what I have is I have the episodes in one timeline, and I have the scenes of each episode in another timeline window down here. So I see them both at the same time. By default, you only have one of these. I split it into two. You know, taking advantage of customizing your workspace, and it's different for every project, is a huge thing. So you can see this makes my life really easy in Second Time, because I have, you know, 601, 602, 603, and here I have, you know, 601, 2, 3. So I can drill down into it really easily and still have the big picture thing here, and then I have individual scenes here. Next. And then, all right, so this is the workflow within timeline editing, and there's a lot of workflows today. So after you ingest and organize all the footage, you want to watch all your footage. This is a big step, especially if you weren't at the shoot. If you're at the shoot, you can bend this a little bit, but normally you want to watch all your footage so you know exactly what you have to do and what you're working with. And while you're watching the footage, it's a good time you can also sync up your audio and video if you're using a dual system audio and video, which we are. See the audio production lectures for more on dual system stuff. And then you pick the best takes, and we're going to talk a lot about picking the best takes, so that's a lot of what timeline editing is.